You're looking at Roots and Branches. It's a sculpture here at EMP, a collection of over 500 guitars and other instruments.
Hard to believe that the museum's collection started with a single felt fedora owned by Jimi Hendrix, but now includes over 100,000 pieces. So how do you let people discover the stories behind these artifacts? You invent something called MEG.
It's a museum about music, okay? The quality of the content that you're playing back better be darn good.
When Paul Allen came up with the idea for EMP, he and his team said, hey, since we're building something new and different, shouldn't we come up with a new and different way to give people information about what's on the inside? This is what they came up with. It's called MEG. MEG stands for Museum Exhibit Guide. It's essentially a Windows CE computer that you wear around your neck as you wander through the galleries.
We wanted it to be a little more random access. We wanted you to be able to wander around and say, hey, I want more information about that.
It adds more when you can hear someone talking about an artifact. You can hear music that helps relate that artifact into its musical context.
Pointing was an interesting metaphor for us. I want more information about this thing, okay? I pressed the select button, and what you saw here was the system saying, hey, what exhibit do you want more information about? And then the exhibit talking back to me saying, oh, you're standing in front of exhibit 123.
Okay, 12 hours of stereo music and narration, hundreds of pages of text, all loaded into a 3.5-pound battery-powered personal museum assistant. Here in the Northwest Passage Gallery, if I want to learn more information about the Louie Louie phenomenon, all I have to do is use my MEG, hit the select button, and I have access to all this information. So if I want to listen to the recording by the Kingsmen, all I have to do is hit 94, and I can listen to it on my stereo headphones. Or here in the Hendrix Gallery, I can use my MEG again, hit select, and I can punch in 60 to find out more information about this Band of Gypsys recording on New Year's Eve in 1970.
The hip pack has a hard drive in it. It has a Toshiba 3922 processor in it. We put a 2.4 gigahertz RF receiver in it, so I can actually broadcast to MEG as well.
Now, if you want even more information about an artifact, say the Selmer trumpet once owned by Quincy Jones, use the MEG to bookmark it. Then go downstairs to the digital library, enter your ticket ID number, and your bookmarks will be there to start you on an even deeper digital exploration. If this catches on and a few tweaks are made, the MEG may just revolutionize the way people visit any museum, not just this one, maybe even other kinds of public spaces.
You know, we're kind of asking people to go a little bit out on the edge, okay? This is overall a new experience for a museum visitor, but we hope we get them there gently.
No matter how many exhibits there are in a museum, there's always one place that stands out as the spiritual center. Here at EMP, it's a sky church.
This rocks.
Technology may power the EMP, but its soul lives here at the Sky Church.
The Sky Church during the day is a grand hall. It's the centerpiece for EMP. It's where the dinosaurs would be if this were a natural history museum.
If you were Jonah and you were swallowed by the rock and roll whale, you know, it's like being inside rock and roll music.
Jimi Hendrix once spoke of a sky church, a gathering place where people of all ages, regardless of race or background, could appreciate music. But bringing Jimmy's vision to reality proved one of EMP's toughest tasks, especially after designer Gerard Howland's first ideas were rejected.
Oh, they hated it. So I thought I'd get fired, but they gave me a second chance, and this is it.
The Sky Church features choreographed shows of digital video, sound and lights unlike any other place in the world. 85-foot steel spires create the impression of a cathedral, with friezes of rock and roll images surrounding transparent parasols that float like jellyfishes above the crowd.
They move up and down, and they float through the room to create this amazing movement.
But what really takes your breath away is the largest indoor LED video screen ever built, 40 feet tall and 70 feet wide.
We've split the 9.5-inch modules. LED modules are typically flush together. We didn't want this just to be a TV screen. We wanted to split them apart so you could play with lighting, audio behind it. We can flash lights through. We hide audio speakers in between the gaps of the LED board. It's more of an artistic treatment of the board instead of a true video image.
And all of this is controlled with a simple click of a mouse by not the DJ or VJ, but by the EJ, the electronic jockey. It's one massive sonic and visual explosion. But what doesn't quite come across on television are the 24 channels of sound that can be manipulated from every corner of the room. This gives the EJ upstairs the opportunity and freedom to do whatever he wants. And you know what? Jimmy would have been proud.
This is like a layout of the space. Here's all the speakers, all right? And you take a track, you click on the mouse, and you draw where you want the sound to go, and the sound will go to those speakers.
It takes almost a dozen processors working in unison off the timecode of a SeaChange video server to make everything work in harmony.
This is the master control computer. This takes a feed direct from SeaChange, which is the video server, and tells it essentially to play this file with the SMPTE timecode and run the SMPTE timecode over to the lighting desk and the LCS and the Pro Tools over there. And
yet, despite all the complexity, it takes just one click of the mouse to get the church rocking.
okay, we have timecode over there, timecode on the Pro Tools, timecode on the lighting desk, and play.
Maybe Hendrix didn't foresee his Sky Church as a digital cathedral. Then again, maybe he did. He knew a shared love of music brought peoples of all kinds together.
A church does the same thing. It can kind of blow your doors off. And this environment can take the average guest someplace for 5 minutes and they'll be lost.
Still ahead, a motion-controlled trip to the origins of funk.